around the hole and go all the way over the green. So the green is still playing very, very firm, even though it's playing back into the wind.
First to play, I thought it would be Blake.
You take one club length on the corner of the temporary movement obstruction. You have to drop it within the second.
You saw this.
And he's going with, did you see he went with less driver?
We saw that last week in Des Moines. I can't remember which player it was that didn't use the driver but used the shortest club to not bring that thicker rough into play.
And that's exactly what Langer did there. He did not want to get out over to the thick rough. He wanted to keep it right where Jay Don is in that thin stuff so he can get a much better consistent strike on the ball.
Well, Langer will wait until after Blake plays his second here at 18 before he drops his ball.
The lead after the first 18 holes, shooting a 268.
And there you go, big hop and way over the green. That had to be a jumper by Jay Don. So even though he's going to be in shorter grass, you can still catch a flyer. That didn't tell Jay Don anything, Billy Ray. I mean, that didn't tell Langer anything, Billy Ray. That's what I was
really not much at all right there. Drops and the ball settles down a bit. There is some grass behind the ball. Trying to determine if that, after he dropped the ball, that it would be away from that removable obstruction. Now he will have a clear path to the hole and a much better lie than the first drop.
Still sitting a little squirrely. I mean, that thing can jump from there in a heartbeat, particularly if you're trying to hit this thing hard back into the wind, which you'll be doing.
And Lanny, anything that's landed anywhere close to hole high has gone flying over the green.
No question.
Miguel Angel Jimenez right now hasn't started his warm-up yet.
This may be Miguel's warm-up.
Joe Durant, he's hitting a few wedges. You saw Woody Austin, he was popping popcorn at the Mitsubishi Electric Classic, waiting for the playoff to start. You can see the path that Bernhard Langer has toward the green here at 18 from a little over 190 yards.
Yeah, couldn't be more open. I mean, he's in a great spot angle-wise, but the fact that he's in the rough is not good. It's always hard to control the distance of your ball coming from rough like this, and sometimes the lies like he has now are a little bit more dodgy than the thick one that you know is going to come out slow.
The key number for him right now, Laney, knowing the firmness of the green, 176 yards will get him right to the front of the green.
Yeah, and Billy Ray, I'm not sure anybody has understood the firmness of this green up here. That's been a key issue so far for everyone else. But if you're right, if I'm Bernhard Langer, I'm thinking front edge, no question.
Well, remember, Langer needs par here to win the Constellation Senior Players. He's got a one-shot lead playing his second at 18.
There, he's worried about the bunkers. If he's worried about the bunkers, it tells me he's going to maybe try to carry it a little bit up into the green, and that may not be a good thing. And that left bunker. in the middle of the bunker. It's a very simple bunker shot. Back into the wind, plenty of green to work with, but his bunker game, not so good right now.
1 for 5. It's time now for the shot of the tournament, brought to you by Constellation. It happened on Saturday with Bart Bryant playing his second shot at the par 4 11th.
Didn't really like it, didn't strike it like he wanted to, but got a huge hop off the front of the green and then read it perfectly.
In for eagle. How about that, Bart Bryant? That's our Constellation shot of the tournament. Coming up next here on Golf Channel, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship final round action unfolding in Seattle. We're at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. Stern conditions here for the Constellation Senior Players Championship, 34th edition. There are no players in the field in red figures. Bernhard Langer playing the 72nd hole, needs just par to win for the third consecutive time. No man has ever won the Constellation Senior Players Championship 3 times. Only Bernhard Langer and Arnold Palmer have won it back-to-back. Langer trying to win his second major of the year and his 7th career major, which would tie him with Hale Irwin for the second most majors in PGA Tour Champions history. But Langer, with a 2-shot lead, bogeyed 17, could not get up and down from the greenside bunker at 17, made bogey, had to make about a 5-footer just to make his bogey. Missed his tee shot well to the left here at 18, has played his second shot into the greenside bunker. And again, Lanny, we talk about the stat. Langer so far in sand saves this week here at the Philadelphia Cricket Club has converted just 1 of 5. He needs to convert here to win the championship.
Bunker shots are tough this week because the greens are firm, hard to get it to stop close. The other thing is this is the kind of sand that's hard to spin the ball out of. Bernhard is a kind of player that likes to spin it out of the sand. So it may be the sand just doesn't agree with him, and he's been uncomfortable because he has not hit any quality bunker shots that we've seen. Perfect lie here, back into the wind. All in all, this would be a very simple bunker shot if it wasn't for the circumstances.
Has 27 wins on the PGA Tour Champions. That is the 3rd most in the history of this tour. 2 behind Lee Trevino. Obviously, Hale Irwin has won out here 45 times. He's 3rd here at 18.
That's just okay. I'm not even sure he can't be pleased with that at all. He's got a good 12, 14 feet. Same as last hole. Really nice setup in the bunker. I just think it's a case that he is not comfortable with the sand. Everything looks terrific right here. Staying very still. The head's nice and still. Just carries it all the way to the hole, which thought he might into the wind, but he had some side spin and took the ball away.
Joe Durant on the practice tee. Through his warm-up, what potentially could have Joe Durant in the playoff?
If I was Joe, I'd hit a couple of drivers right quick because they do start at 18. Mike Sullivan's going to come over and speak with him now, tell him what's going on.
And there's only been 2 birdies at 18. Jeff Hart had one early in the day, and Joe Durant had the second birdie of the day at 18, and this got him to 2 over and Max Jimenez in the clubhouse. And what a big putt. At the time, he's 2 shots off the lead and figuring, well, this might just get me in second place. It might have gotten him in a playoff.
It sure may have, and we're going to see. And Jimenez couldn't make a birdie down the stretch, made some nice pars, and Miguel
is loosening up with his finger right now.
Yeah, he's not going to overtrain. He is never going to overtrain. So, no sense starting now. I love it.
Meanwhile, Jeff Sluman, who started the day 4 off the lead, got off terrific start. Sluman doubled the second hole, doubled the fourth hole, bogeyed the sixth, went out in 40, doubled the 10th. But Sluman has battled back with birdies at 15 and 16.
He's making a fight of it for himself, looking at a outside shot at top 10 or getting in the top 10. Everything this year is based on money, so every finish you can post is worth more towards that Charles Schwab Cup at the end of the year. And we now have a 3-tournament playoff, which is you want to make that first one and then try and move up.
Take a look again at the scorecard of Bernhard Langer, who leads the PGA Tour champions in birdie average during the course of the year. He's averaging just under 5 birdies per round. Langer, no birdies today. 3-putt bogey at 3, and then made bogey at 12, and then could not get up and down from the bunker at 17.
Yeah, not a particularly good bunker shot at 17, and then not again here at 18. Pretty simple putt he has here at 18, though, Bob. I mean, it's very much on the line of the putt that we saw Joe Durant make.
Reminder, coming up, another major, LPGA major, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship follows us immediately right here on Golf Channel. Philadelphia Cricket Club, the 11th venue being used for the Constellation Senior Players. And what a test it has been. This Tillinghast design clearly has stood the test of time. Jadon Blake for his par at 18.
Over the green in 2 and then pitch back to here, Billy Ray.
Yeah, this is coming up from a small little ridge. Needs to hurry.
Billy Ray, were you able to get a look at Langer's putt?
I certainly was, Lanny, and by all indications, there's not a lot of break. It looks like it wants to move a little bit to the left, and the wind will be from that direction also, from right to left. That might play an influence on the putt of Langer.
What would you guess, 15 feet?
It's a good 15 feet, Lanny, and it's back down the hill. So when I look at this putt, you like to try to dive in and use basically the whole circumference of the hole.
Langer now trying to convert his par here on the 72nd hole.
Yeah, this putt is not dissimilar to the one that Joe Durant made. We saw his work right to left down the slope, but it was going very slow, toppled over the front, and was just on the outside right edge.
If Langer can convert this par, he makes history and becomes the first player in the 34-year history of the Constellation Senior Players to win this for a 3rd time. And the Hall of Famer, Bernhard Langer, becomes the first player to win the Constellation Senior Players 3 times in his career. And even for a Hall of Famer, a deep sigh of relief. The man who he beat in a playoff in 2014 in this event, Jeff Sluman, for his par at 18. So Bernhard Langer becomes the first player in PGA Tour Champions history to win multiple majors in 3 consecutive years. He won the Regions Tradition earlier this year, and now the Constellation Senior Players. Bernhard Langer with David Marr.
That's all right.
Okay, making history, but coming down the stretch, what was the mindset?
Well, I was, keeping an eye on the leaderboard, but I really started off trying to shoot even par or better, because I figured the conditions are so tough. They couldn't mow the greens today because of the windy forecast, so the greens were slower, but it was the right thing to do, but they just weren't quite as true. I never made a putt all day. That's the only putt I made the last 2 kind of thing, 6-footer and a 12-footer. So it was tough. It was a grind. maybe should have taken driver on 17. I don't know. I thought I played smart, but missed both greens with a 5-iron, last two, and then finally got up and down here. So I'm very pleased.
All worked out. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Bernhard Langer has moved into a tie with his 7th major, tying Hale Irwin. 7 major victories on PGA Tour champions. With the win, $405,000. Langer's lead now, $719,000 over Woody Austin. With the name Bernhard Langer in the record books as the first player to ever win the Constellation Senior Players 3 times, and he's done it 3 consecutive years. For our entire crew, Bob Papa saying so long from the Constellation Senior Players at the Philadelphia Cricket Club.